Hello designers, you're welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to be making this top. It's a one shoulder twisted bubu top with waist cinching. I'll be using this fabric. You can use any fabric of your choice, but a soft lush fabric will come out very nice. But you can also use fabric like this. So this fabric is 2 yards and about 10 inches. So depending on how you want to fold it, on my shoulder there will be joining, but if you don't want joining on your shoulder and you want to use this other side of the fabric that is on fold, you can use 2 yards. I've gone ahead to fold the fabric into 2 and then I folded it again into 4. So at the upper part I have the selvage, at the lower part I have the selvage. Like I said earlier, if you don't want joining on your shoulder, don't fold it this way, fold it the other way. The shoulder part will be on fold. I'm going to be cutting the front and the back piece together this way. So from the selvage, from the top, I'm going to measure my blouse length or bubu length, which is 30 inches in total, seam allowances included. Then for my neckline, I'm going to be using 5 inches from the center fold, which represents my center front and my center back. Remember, I'm cutting front and back together. So I'll measure 5 inches, then the depth I'll measure 1 inch. I'll give it a curve and cut it out. I'm going to come to this other side of the fabric to get my sleeve opening, where my hand is going to pass through. So I'll be measuring about 9 inches or 10 inches. Then I'll give it a notch, about 1 inch notch there. Then I'll slit the opening I have by the side and adjust the side. I'll cut it, I'll trim out the side to make it equal. I'm going to open it this way. Then on the left side of the shoulder, this is my neckline by the way. So decide where you want to be off, to form the off shoulder, and that is where the twisting will also be. So you choose that side. It's always on the left side most times. Then you measure 2 inches. If you're not big, you measure 2 inches. If you're big, if you're plus size, you measure about 3 inches on that shoulder and mark it, cut it out. If you don't do it this way, if you just do it a normal neckline and then when you wear it, you bend the fabric, one of the sleeve will be higher than the other when you wear it. But if you do it this way, one sleeve is already shorter than the other. So when you wear it, the part that forms the off shoulder, the sleeve will still be equal with the second side that doesn't have the off shoulder. So for the joining, I'm going to be joining the shoulder. I'll be using 1/2 inch. If yours does not have joining on the shoulder, you can skip the part. So I'll join the 2 shoulders 1/2 inch. Then I'll leave space for my sleeve opening. From that notch there, I'll sew 1 inch down to sew the side. I'll come to the other side. From the notch, I'll sew 1 inch down, but I leave space for my sleeve opening. Then, after sewing the side, I'm going to tidy my sleeve. I'll fold 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch round the sleeve. I'll do the same for the second sleeve. Then the hem of the fabric, the hem of the bubu, I'll sew 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch all the way round the hem. Lastly, I'll do the neckline. I'll fold the neckline, or I can use a bias to tidy it, a bias tape to tidy it, or I'll just fold it very tiny, 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. Now to the sewing machine. Like I said earlier, I'll start by joining my shoulders. So that is what I'm doing here. So from the notch, I'm going to sew 1 inch down by the side. After sewing the side and the shoulder, I'll go ahead and do the sleeve opening as I explained earlier. I'm going to do the same for the second sleeve. I've gone ahead to tidy the neckline like I explained earlier. I didn't use a bias tape. I only folded it very tiny. So I have these 2 strips of fabric that I'll be using to make the belt to cinch the waist. The fabric is 3 inches by 30 inches. So I'm going to fold it into 2, and then I'll sew the top opening of the belt. I'll sew the side by 1/2 inch also, but I'll leave out the lower part of the belt so that I can use that to turn it out. So whatever I do to this one, I'll do it to the second one. This is the final look of the Bubu after all my joining. That is the sleeve, the neckline, the side, and this is the M. I'm going to lay it flat on the table. Then from the shoulder, I want to measure the underbust. So depending where you want to put your twisting or your pleats or your embellishments, the one on the waist. So depending where you want to put it. I'm trying to confirm the shorter sleeve to be sure where I will put it. I don't want to make a mistake. So the shorter sleeve has the twisting on the waist. So from the shoulder, I will measure the under bust plus 1 inch. Then I'll mark it. Where I marked, I'm going to measure maybe about 10 inches. Then I'll use that to like twist it together. So you can twist it as much as you want. Make sure you don't pick the back piece with it. So when you have picked it, when you have twisted it, you use pin to secure what you have done there. This is the embellishment I want to put. I'm going to cut off the center flower. I only need that shiny part. I'm going to fold one of it and use it to overlap the other one to cover that part that I cut out. So I already made a video on how to use invisible thread to do your embellishment. Though you can also use a normal thread, the same color of your embellishment. You can also use it to tack it. But if you want to learn how I tack this, because I didn't explain that in this video, check out my video on how to use an invisible thread. So this is my belt, my 2 belts. I'm going to show you how to put the belt now. So whatever your waist is, you divide it into 4. And whatever you get, in this case, the waist is 38 divided into 4. I have about 9 or 9.5 inches, thereabouts. So you can add about 3 to 5 inches to that to get the length you're going to use to attach the belt. So let me turn this inside out so that I can show you properly. So this is the front. You locate the middle of your neckline, the center front. From the neckline down, you locate the middle first. Then whatever your waist is, divided by 4. Whatever you get, add about 3 inches or 5 inches to it, depending on how big you are. The opening of the belt, you fold it by 1/2 inch and place it on that mark. Remember that mark from the shoulder is the length of your underbust plus 1 inch. You don't want it directly at the underbust, so about 1 inch below your underbust or 2 inches if you want it close to your waist. So as I said earlier, you fold the opening of the belt, the part you didn't sew where you turned it out. You fold it by 1/2 inch and place it on that part you have marked. Use pin to secure it. Make sure you don't pin the back piece with it. You can see I'm going inside to pin it because it's only the front piece you're going to pin it on. See, the back piece is okay, so it's only on the front part. I'll go ahead to sew that down with my machine. Then the twisting in the front, I'll use the machine to sew it down. You can also use your hand to tack it if you want. I'm done with that. So this is the belt attached securely to the front piece. This is my twisting. I've sewn it down. Because this fabric is busy, it's not a plain fabric, so the twisting is not really showing in this video, but it still came out great. Now I'm going to turn it inside out. So this is what my twisting looks like. You can make your twisting more exaggerated. I'm going to put my embellishments. I'm going to use pin to secure this for the sake of this video. I won't be tacking it in the video, but I'll use pin to secure it all through the video, just for you to see the beauty of that twisted part. So this is it on my dress form. It came out really pretty, though this dress form is smaller than the person that is intending to wear it. For this dress form, it's falling on the waist, but for someone bigger it will fall around the under bust, but it still looks great on the dress form anyway. So that's the back, this is the front, and the twisted waist. So I tied the belt inside. This is the belt.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please kindly like, share, comment, subscribe if you're new here, and click the notification bell. Thank you.